What's up, guys? Being week one of world history, we've kind of talked about time and map skills and how to read a timeline, BC versus AD and everything. What I want to move into now is basically kind of the boom or the burst of civilization. We aren't going to take it all the way back to the beginning of creation of, of mankind, if you will. But I do want to start off with the boom of civilization where population started to explode. And we'll do that starting basically on rivers, because rivers and what we're going to call the river civilizations provided water, and the water was necessary for kind of what we want to talk about today. So in the next 10 minutes, the one thing that I want you guys to get out of this most importantly is, why do we have a population boom? It's kind of the end thing here. Why do populations begin to boom and centralize in one area instead of roaming the world and being what's called hunters and gatherers, which is kind of how it all started. People having to roam and be nomadic to follow their food supply, to be quite honest. We're going to end that, and we're going to move it more into civilizations that stay stable and more in one area. And that's all possible with what I'm going to talk about the next 10 minutes. And, with the melting of the Ice Age, with the Ice Age ending and the ice melting and revealing land, that's going to not only reveal land that can be harvested and used for agriculture, but it reveals, rocks and wood and things that you can use to efficiently run your agricultural farm or business, quite frankly. And, the stone and the wood are used as harvesting tools, whether it be sickles or hammers or whatnot. It could be a lot of different things and a lot of different tools that they used. But with the end of the Ice Age, you see the formation of the next time period, which is called the Neolithic Revolution or the Neolithic Age. The word Neolithic literally means new rock. And of course, the new rock we're talking about is the land that has been revealed with the melting of the Ice Age. And that's the time period that we're in right now, the Neolithic Age, which is going to include your early river civilizations that we'll talk about this week. The stones and the wood and the new tools that are being used in a new type of lifestyle, a movement away from hunting and gathering, so no more of this as much, into a time of agriculture with these new tools and these new farming equipment. You're going to see new types of agriculture and new types of food, including that are massively produced in a systematic over and over and over again way, whether it be corn or maize, as they called it, beans, fruits like bananas were very popular, papaya, squash if you want to do vegetables. Of course, rice was a huge one, wheat, barley. A lot of these things produced repetitive, or what we're going to call systematic forms of food to not only eat for you and your family, but to sell at the market to make money, or a barter economy where they could trade food for something else, which keeps people more stable and in a more centralized location, which is what we're going to call civilizations. Something else that that comes with that is the domestication of animals. With a systematic food source now being grown over and over again, you're able to, instead of going to hunt and gather food and search for that kind of stuff, you can domesticate animals to use in your favor, to not only use to harvest those agricultural crops, but quite frankly, sometimes as pets. I know today, like, we have dogs as pets. They're definitely domesticated. And different types of domesticated animals in the Neolithic Revolution and your early river civilizations would be, from cows to including dogs, llamas, pigs, goats, buffalo. There's many different ones. Chickens were very domesticated as well, but domesticated means, quite frankly, as pets. And not necessarily, obviously, a pet that you would pet as your dog that lays in your lap while you watch TV, but they didn't run off. They knew where their food supply was. They stayed close to their food supply, and you were their food supply. And so they become domesticated, or trained, if you will, that you can use to your advantage on your new agricultural farm or systematic agricultural crop that you're growing up over and over again. So again, it comes back to that word systematic, where this is happening over and over again. so that you don't have to move, you don't have to go hunt, you don't have to go gather. You can stay in one place and have a stable economy and a stable life. Something else that popped up during the Neolithic Revolution is the invention, I guess you could call it, of bronze, the combination of copper and tin together to form something called bronze, which is a metal that is very durable, much more durable than wood, much more heavier than wood, so it could do more work, more damage, if you will. So you could dig deeper into the earth, whether it be digging trenches or digging ditches or whatnot. But the Bronze Age allowed for definitely more efficient way of farming and building, and that happens right, at this time period as well. It really all comes down to this: when you're able to domesticate animals to use for your benefit on your farm or your agricultural crop, and then you can repetitively grow food over and over again. We're going to call that systematic, because you have a water source that's very close to you, because you're a river civilization. You live close to a river, and you're able to have some type of irrigation system to where you can have water near you at all times to water your crops. That's going to lead to babies. And by that I mean, when you're stable and you have a stable life that's able to feed your family, then you start looking to increase the size of your family. When you can't feed your family, or you're always on the move, you aren't probably procreating. You probably aren't having many children. But when you're stable and you have a home and a place to live, and you have a place to barter and make money, if you will, to advance your life, and then you're able to also, quite frankly, feed your family in a very healthy way, you will have kids. And so you're going to see, and this is the most important thing about the Neolithic Revolution and the early river civilizations, is a population boom. The populations of these early river civilizations, they explode, and they explode because they have the food to stabilize and keep safe their populations and their civilizations, and to supply them with everything that they needed, so that they didn't have to always be on the move, and it wasn't quite as dangerous, to be honest with you. But that's kind of just an introduction and a little bit of information with your early river civilizations and this thing called the Neolithic Revolution. So up on the board, you kind of see the flow chart of how this works. The ending of the Ice Age, the ice melts, revealing a whole new land called the New Rock, Neolithic meaning new rock, which allows for land to be harvested, where you can harvest crops on the land. So we call that agriculture, of course. And we're going to add that word systematic. It becomes something that you can do over and over again to feed your family and make money on, or barter. You see the end of hunting and gathering, because they're more stable. And then we're going to talk about the popping up of these river civilizations, which absolutely leads to population increases in our world. And so it's kind of a quick synopsis, a quick review, if you will, introduction of the Neolithic Age and the early river civilizations.